Por Dios, pero esos tigres no son fácil. Dejo Tiquembo, los del podcast Barapá, tan desacatados con informaciones por YouTube. ¡Qué
Yeah, we're
vaina!
live, bro.
Okay.
So yeah, this is our little intro. Welcome back to our Barapa. If you're listening to us live on YouTube, connect with us on social media. This is Campbell.
This is TJ.
Yeah. Welcome back. So a lot of news today. We have the Twitter Swindler. We've got Chris Brown charged for rape allegations again. And more. Yeah. How's your week been?
Everything has been blessed. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been thinking, I leave every live stream with like 20 new ideas, and I've been just thinking about that. I found a YouTube channel that I started watching, which has a Nigerian guy that's married an American woman.
Okay.
Randomly. I came across it. And as I was going through their content, there was a video that was something along the lines of, we almost didn't get married. And what happened was he found out that her favorite character, like she had a thing for the Little Mermaid. And from his perspective, it was Mummy Water. And he felt that there was, like, he couldn't marry a woman that
Por Dios, pero esos tigres no son
worshipped Mummy
fácil.
Water. But she had no idea. And basically they worked it out, like, you know, it's just a cartoon thing that I watched, whatever. But, you know, the significance for him was a big deal. So that was just coincidental piece of content I came across this week after last week's episode. If you're confused, if you're listening and you're confused, you're going to have to go back to last week's episode.
Yeah. Check out our previous episodes. Yeah, we talk about archetypes. We talk about different spirits, if you want. In the West, they'll be known as archetypes, and many more things. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, oh, that's very interesting, you know, because they're all rotating around this topic of the Ashawo. For those who don't know what Ashawo is, that's a gold digger. And that's a West African term for gold digger. And today we're going to talk about the Tinder. Jesus Christ. The Tinder Swindler. You know, I just
today we flipped the script.
Mate, it's the men. It's the men doing the gold digging now.
Well, I guess it's the men doing, because I guess the men are doing gold digging, right? But they are using. Well, okay, let's come on to this in a minute. Why don't you set the table?
Okay.
With the whole Tinder Swindler.
So, let me pull up my info because we need to get our facts right, you know. We can't just be chatting out of our bums. So, my guy, the Tinder Swindler, he goes by the name of, let me pull this up right here. So, there's so much information on my timeline. Oh my god. So this is not it. Just bear with me, guys.
Well, I'm sure you've come across this thing that's been trending right now, which is while Campbell gets his link. So this guy has basically defrauded women, or actually, I don't know about defrauding, right? He's got them to consent to provide him with financial, with money, after presenting a false lifestyle that they buy into. And he then uses this to be a sort of unbelievable catch for women, like a really attractive catch that women cannot resist, or certain types of women maybe can't resist. And then those women fall for him. He gets them to, because of the extravagant lifestyle that he displays to them, You know, he's flying them on. He's going on jets. He's expensive dinners. He's driving expensive cars. He's doing all of this stuff, and they're wrapped up in this. Um, they
Ashawo.
buy in wholeheartedly to the idea that he's extremely rich,
Yeah.
and then, you know, he calls them with some type of disaster or emergency situation,
Yeah.
gets them to get a loan, you know, of
Bomba
substantial
clat.
money, $200,000, that kind, you know, big money, and in their name, and then hand that money over to him, and it's like he's good. He'll give them it back, and then he disappears.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, do you want to go on?
no, go on.
Basically, so we're talking about Simon Leviev. Okay. I guess that's a Middle Eastern name of Eastern origins, right? So here I'm reading from the Independent. It says he's been thrust into the spotlight in recent weeks after the release of a documentary, The Tinder Swindler. Then I can't talk. So the Netflix show features three women telling the story of how he stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from them by tricking them into a romance scam. So the documentary aired on the 2nd of February, followed three of his victims: Cecil, sorry my pronunciation, Fjellhoy, Pernilla Sjolholm, and Eileen Charlotte, as they spoke of how they met him on Tinder and became convicted that he was genuinely in love with them. So I believe the word for what he was doing was love bombing, and here is classed as a very toxic form of love to do. Yeah,
Love bombing.
love bombing. So basically, showing supernormal stimuli emotionally to these women, and just making them feel beyond the moon without even knowing them for who they were.
So is this the male? Is that you said when we were discussing what we're going to live stream?
Yeah.
So here's the question: is this the male Jezebel, the male Mami Water, the male
Ashawo.
Ashawo? Is this the male Pompajiro? Is
Papi
this what
Water.
this is?
Yeah. This guy is Papi Water. It is, mate. It is, because as we know it in African traditions, West African traditions, mainly, you know, all over the world, these energies manifest themselves both male and female. So this is the case of the male manifestation of Pompagira, and
So
this is how it moves.
he either consciously or subconsciously worships the archetype of all those previous set above.
So now, we can't really tell, but according to Carl Jung, these archetypes present themselves subconsciously in the collective, on the collective, you know, unconscious. So it could be the case where we know he's doing it for monetary compensations. He wants money. He's trying to make a living of this, and it could be the case where he is now tapping into his magician archetype. This is what I found, another good article on this that splits the main types of archetypes into king, magician, warrior, and officer. So this could be a part of his magician archetype, his creative side, that is trying to find a solution into his broke ass. And my guy went on Tinder and solved his major problem: money. And yeah,
So
sex sells.
he's using, like, so if a woman wants to do this,
Yeah,
you might find that she has like a crazy body, like crazy enhanced breasts,
yeah,
curvy, maybe a BBL. She's beautiful. She's she's overtly sexual. She doesn't back down from sexual innuendo and
Yeah.
sexual flirtation.
mm-hmm.
She will have a lot of touch.
Yeah,
You know, a lot of eye,
Cambe.
non-verbal sexual cues
Yeah.
to
Ha.
to appeal supernatural stimuli
Mm-hmm.
to the man that she's targeting.
Yeah.
So this gentleman does exactly the same, except if he was just really in great shape
Yeah.
and was flirtatious, it probably wouldn't work on a woman. So
Mm.
he's added the element of being, basically a billionaire, like complete
Mm.
life-changing money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and
Bomba
this
clot.
makes him now just too irresistible. Like those. I don't know if they're real or pranks. They're probably mostly pranks. But when there's those YouTube videos where a guy will ask for a girl's number, she'll say no, and then he'll get in a Lamborghini, and she'll
Yeah.
sort of be like, "Oh, what about let's go on that date? How about that date?"
Mm. Yeah, I
So
think
he
those are mainly
basically
pranks. They're set up. They're not real. I don't find them real. I don't know.
they probably are set up, but
I beg go.
do you think there's any truth in them?
It's obviously the case where leaves move because the wind is blowing. And look, this guy, more over the, he's rich. He's showing and displaying wealth, yeah. But more so, he's also having an emotional, intelligent side, which
Mm,
is what really gets women hooked, because we
that
know,
locks the deal.
there you go. We know women are very emotional. We're not trying to say weak. We're just saying they display an emotional side that most men are not able to get in touch with. He's unlocked it. That's it. So whatever he's doing, he knows, look, I need to add the emotional element to it, and then just sweep them off their feet with the private jet, with their four-season hotel, because that just wraps up the whole game he's trying to play, and then just drop the bomb, give you some money.
If you're a woman, if you're a single woman, and you were to encounter what you perceived as a billionaire
Por Dios, pero esos tigres no
that
son
was
fácil.
young, that was handsome, that was generous,
Mm-hmm.
I think that you a few weeks ago I said about how fearful I am of being in the presence of someone like a Brittany Renner,
Okay,
because
yeah.
you can
That was on
get
our
you can
first
get
episode, yeah.
you can get so fuzzed. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, even though I know who she is, right?
Yeah.
Like the I would be scared that if she was to put her eye of attention upon me,
Hmm.
it would be so, it could be so powerful that it could even break, you could even break the warning bells that should be ringing when dealing with such a woman.
Yeah.
I imagine this is like, so I mean, I'd be curious to know if women might feel this way, just being in the presence of, a sheik from the Middle East,
Yeah.
a Jay-Z, someone, and then imagine that guy is like, imagine Jay-Z. You genuinely thought, like, Jay-Z's like, I'm leaving Beyonce, and it's you that I want. Like, what is, like, the allure for that would be so powerful,
So much.
and you kind of know that you're putting your head into the jaws of the crocodile,
Yeah.
but you just can't even resist. Like, you just have to do it.
Bomba clot.
This guy, he unlocked the next level of Ashawo, male Ashawo issue. That would be the African, West African archetype of the magician, the trickster. In Western folklore, he'll be known as the fox or in some cases the hair. And
Why wouldn't it be considered mami water?
it is Papi water. That's what I would like to call it. Just in fair, to put the pronouns correctly. This guy
I mean,
is basically displaying it.
why is it the trickster when it's the guy and not the trickster when it's the girl? Is more my
So
question.
it is the same trickster as when it's a woman. It's just the woman is displaying, what the man wants, so sexual promiscuity, whereas the man has to, most men are not so emotional. There are men that can display some sort of emotion, but it's seen as a form of weakness. So he's basically tricking them. It's the same thing that the woman is doing, but for some reason the male version is seen as a trick, as a fraud, as a scammer, because he's trying to convey something that he's usually not.
Mm.
So yeah, this
Right,
guy
it's the deception. It's the
exactly.
deception.
Yeah, this
Whereas
guy
the
unlocked it.
with the woman, there probably is no deception needed in that way. The deception is that she's into you, I suppose.
Probably yes,
But
probably.
she might even be into you. I mean, I don't know.
Um,
The deception is the whole setup. Whereas with a woman, I think when they're doing their Jezebel thing,
yeah.
there's no deception. They love sex. They give it to you. They just use it to, you know, get
To
what they
get what they
want.
want, further their agenda, get
Yeah.
money. I think the common goal is a easier life, a more, I don't know how to say it, a more comfortable life, money, material gains. So what is the goal to that? Emotional manipulation or sexual
Mm,
promiscuity? So pick and choose. Just put them
mm,
together,
mm.
and yeah, it's also funny that he's among his three victims. There are two Scandinavian women, and one has more of a British, Anglo-British name. But I've seen that sort of trait, just to bring it, just bring the talk back to these kind of scams. I've seen that Nordic women fall more for these kind of emotionally
Really?
driven men. I think so, because
Where did you see this before?
I've seen a few stories about that, about brothers going to places like Finland, Sweden, Denmark, and just being able to get these blonde Amazon tall girls and then getting them to do everything they want, getting money, documents, permits, everything, bro, every single thing. And
I
I've
guess
noticed
I
that
guess
more in the north, yeah, Nordic countries.
I guess we'll just chalk it up as a speculation without evidence.
Speculation, yeah. Let's
Yeah.
just leave it at that. But yeah, let's talk about how much he swindled this woman. He was able to get 30K from one, about 30K from the second, and 100,000+ from the third woman. This is a lot of money. It's life-changing money,
Yeah, I mean,
bro. Would you do that?
and he didn't he has to be a psychopath.
Hmm.
Like I think if I was to, first of all, I wouldn't embark on such an endeavor, but if I would embark on such an endeavor,
Mm-hmm.
I would if I was to embark on such an endeavor, I would I feel terribly guilty about it,
Hmm.
especially if there's emotional stuff going on.
Hmm. Hmm.
And something that stopped me in my tracks when I was just talking just then.
Okay. What?
In my younger years,
Hmm.
um,
TJ, I love your confessions.
in my younger years, um,
Bomba
let me just say that
clot!
you know I've made a lot of mistakes, and I'm not the man I used to be. Part of my development. Um, I I once used a woman for financial gain. I'm just remembering now.
Wow.
I used like a kind of girl. I don't know. I was kind of seeing her, kind of not seeing her.
Bro.
I did that once in my life. It's a terrible thing. I still feel guilty about it now, many years later. I don't know. I don't have no contact with her. I don't know where she is. Whatever the.
How much did
I,
you get from
I
her?
don't even remember her name.
Hey.
I can't even. I'm too embarrassed to even tell you.
Nah, you need to spill it. You need to
Like
spill this.
I from my actions. I'm just gonna say from my actions, I made about £2,000.
Okay.
In that is a fraction of her total loss because other people were involved and those people also benefited.
Por Dios, pero esos tigres no son fácil.
Wow.
So I don't know.
Wow.
Wow. It's not it's not something I'm proud of. So I just remember.
What do you mean by other people benefited from it? Well, it was a groupie thing.
No, it wasn't a groupie thing, but basically, these guys had a opportunity, had a means by which to. They had a setup, but they were like, do you know anyone that would fit this role? And at that time, I was wallowing in the darkness of
Papi water.
I was wallowing in the darkness of the streets, and I just knew that this girl was just down for anything. Like if someone, it's like you meet a guy that's like, do you know a girl that could put drugs on her body and fly across? And I knew, and then you know someone that would. Okay. That's basically, but it wasn't that, but it was, it was something, and it was in a similar vein to this Tinder. This is horrible. This is so horrible. I'm horrified at what I did. I would never do it now. And we're talking 15 plus years, maybe 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
But I still think about it now. I still think about the trouble that she was left with. She was definitely left with trouble, and
you just wash your hands.
Yeah, we just washed our hands. I'm also thinking of the film, that Will Smith film.
Hitch, was it?
No, not Hitch. The one where he's with Margot Robbie. Damn, I should know the name of this film.
I don't know. So okay, so I have one question. Was she hot, the girl you did this to? Would you say she was average?
She was average.
Okay.
But she was average, and how did I know that she was down? Like, how did I know that she was whatever?
Yeah.
Because she showed, look, like I don't know if you've ever watched like American Pimp, the documentary.
I don't think
so one of the guys, they ask him, how did you get in the pimp game?
Okay.
And the film's called Focus, by the way.
Okay.
The Will Smith one.
Yeah.
And the guy said that, like, a girl approached him and was like, he was like on the street or whatever doing his thing, and a girl approached him and was like, I need a pimp, and he knew nothing. And within a little while, she'd never prostituted before, and she approached him, and he realized that, like, I could pimp this girl. Like, I would say it's something like that. Like, so she just wanted to be next to me, and she just wanted to do whatever I like. The more and more she was hanging around, she was useful. She was useful. She would connect me to all these people that was making me money. And she used to just come and roll with me in my car. She would just hang out, and I was in an area where I didn't know very many people, so she was like helping me network. So she would just roll with me and say, "Oh, I know this guy, I know that, I know this and that." So she would just roll with me, and I realized one day that she just didn't want to leave.
She wanted to hang out.
She just wanted to hang out, and then she basically just was like, can I? She put it on me sexually. She basically offered herself sexually to me. Right.
Yeah.
And so I took advantage. Well, I was a young, horny guy that would basically, I wasn't going to say no.
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself. She enjoyed herself. And basically from then on, anytime I had a sexual itch, like, she knew she wasn't my girlfriend.
Okay.
So, but she was just like, anytime I had a sexual itch, I could just call her, and she would just come. She was just like friends with benefits.
Yeah.
And the benefits were beyond, like, the benefits were actually making me money, connecting me with people, networking. So it was cool for her to be around.
Yeah.
So, once you've kind of seen the boundaries and she's pushed these buttons, when the opportunity came, I just told her, like, this is what it is. Do you want to get on board? And I knew that there was a chance that there's like a downside, but I just focused on the money that would be made.
Yeah.
And it all went down. It all went, accordingly. And I basically, after it all happened, and I don't know, I think I just moved area anyway. I was moving area. I left the area.
Yeah.
And she'd got a boyfriend as well. In that period. So she was now with this guy. And then I just kind of, I remember I got like maybe one angry phone call. Sort of saying, do you know what it was, like a friend of hers saying, like, oh, do you know what you've done to her and this and that?
Yeah.
But like, I cared, but I didn't care. And I just was like, okay. And I just disappeared. I just
went on with your life.
Yeah, just went on with my life.
Wow. Hey, guys, this is deep. So today you're saying you're a better person.
Well, I just would never do such a thing now.
Again.
I got up to a lot of things that I shouldn't have been getting up to as a young man in the city of London.
Okay.
all of my friends, my social group, everyone was the same. And some of my friends got killed. Some of my friends ended up in jail. Some of my friends, transitioned into a normal existence, normal life. And I'm lucky enough to basically escaped that lifestyle relatively unscathed.
Mm.
And it's a lifestyle that I see, young people in London making the same decisions.
Mm.
And it's heartbreaking because some of those decisions really crippled me long term. They set me back. And if I'd listened to those that were giving good advice, if I'd followed a better path,
Yeah.
I could have really competed. We were competitors. We were trying to make money, right?
Yeah.
And we were so like tenacious and hungry, and we really had our hustle game all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we just didn't believe in our hearts of hearts that there was a legal road to win at.
Okay.
And what I realized when I got older was if we just applied ourselves in a legal manner,
Yeah.
we would have won so much bigger.
Mm.
So much bigger. So there's like a ratio between like hustling on the street, making money, and then like risk. So it's big reward, but the bigger the reward, the bigger the risk.
Yeah.
Right. And some of those risks that you're taking are like jail time, and street violence.
Yeah.
And the consequences of those things are life changing. They're like, it could be death.
Yeah.
Or locked up away. So there's a balance where it's like you're taking all this risk and you know that there's all these consequences.
Yeah.
Now what happens is people start dabbling in this
Yeah.
from teenage years and younger, right?
Yeah.
And the smart ones never dabble.
Mm.
Then there's some guys that like dabble, but then they realize like they don't want to go all the way, because you basically have to sacrifice yourself. You have to fully commit. But in general, if you want to be successful in something, you have to fully commit to it.
Yeah.
So if you fully commit to that lifestyle, then you're fully committing to, like, the consequence could be jail, and I have to be okay with that. The consequence could be I get involved in violence, and I have to be okay with the consequences, whether I'm on the receiving end or the giving end of that violence, right?
Yeah.
So I knew in my heart of hearts, all of that was never really me, but I kind of got swept along with it. And I saw those that took it all the way.
Yeah.
Generally, those guys don't make it.
Mm.
They accept jail as part of their life,
Yeah.
or they accept death, and then death catches them sometimes before jail. I had friends that like had spent more time in jail by 30 than had spent time out of jail in their life.
Wow.
Maybe not in jail, maybe that equation isn't quite right, but many years. Like if you do a 7 years, you come out, you do a 2 years, you come out, you do a 5 years.
Yeah.
Like guys that have been in jail since they were teenagers, in and out of jail like that, since they're teenagers.
In the vicious cycle.
So vicious cycle. And then they believe that then the world really does close up to them. Like now you got a criminal record and you really can't function.
Yeah.
You can't contribute to proper society, and then you feel like, well, all of this is against me. I only know how to make money this way, blah, blah, blah. So then you're dealing with the glorification of it all in media, in your social groups, back then there wasn't social media, but it was still glorified. Now there's social media to glorify it all. So this action that I took was whilst I was in the midst of this life. And I would say it took me 10 years to climb my way away from that dark.
This is an inspiring story, TJ.
Well, I don't know about inspiring. I mean,
no, I'll say it's inspiring because, like you said, you know people that are just locked up in this vicious cycle and are not able to get out of it. They just see one way of getting bread, getting money, just staying in the underground, doing everything in the underground and constantly being in, having trouble with the law. So this is also very very interesting because it represents the same issue, the same trickster archetype, which would be the
Yeah.
lord of the underground. And it's quite interesting that in African folklore, this archetype has a mask, and today that mask will be represented by the Bali balaclava, which is
What
quite
was the
interesting.
what's the original mask?
The mask is an African mask with three shells, so two shells for the eyes and one for the lips.
Wow.
Very very interesting, and this is the same issue, the same trickster, the same Papi water, but he acquires his means. So the folklore goes this way: that he's a shapeshifter. He adapts according to his needs, and he's basically involved with everything that has to do with the underworld, everything illegal. He's the
I,
lord
I
of.
would say that I was definitely a shapeshifter. I could be in one room. If I need to be like a Cockney guy with a
Yeah,
bunch of white guys, I'm a
yeah.
Cockney guy. If I need to be a black guy with the
Mm,
mandem, if I need to be like a charmer, a female charmer,
yeah,
I'm just whatever I
All
need
the
to be.
beans.
And then like when I go home and see my mum and
yeah,
dad,
yeah.
I take all of that off, you know,
These
and
guys are
that I would
spinning
never
all the
show them
beans.
that side of myself,
That is
So
very telling. Yeah, and you see, that was all playing its part in your subconscious because it's another means to an end. So you had to dig down deep into your shadow part and get whatever resources, this archetype, to get to the very end. We're going to talk about a lot of these other archetypes. There's loads of them, and they take different variations based on the needs that the user needs. But yeah, it's quite interesting, and this has taken over a lot of popular culture. So you have a lot of kids. I mean, I'll say kids, but a lot of entertainers, men and women using the Bali. And but do they know what it means? Do they understand that we're enacting features of the Lord of the Underworld, which I would never say is evil, because we're gonna have a conversation about good and evil, which I stated there is no good, there's no evil, there's just outcomes that are good and evil. But this is all
okay.
necessary to play a part, which is
Well,
balancing the equations.
before we move on, I have one thing to say about all of this.
Go on.
If there is anyone listening that is,
Bomba
if there's anyone
clot.
listening that is walking a dark path,
Yeah.
um, especially in a career as a career
Yeah.
for earning money, um,
I beg, bro.
you can do. I didn't realize I didn't have the confidence to, or maybe not the confidence. I don't know what it is, but I didn't believe I could make money legitimately, big in a big
Mm.
way,
Mm.
I beg,
right?
bro.
And or in a in a life changing way or whatever. And all the guys that make big money,
Yeah.
they don't necessarily make it morally, but they make the money. You can make plenty of money within the law.
I agree with you.
And once you make money within the law, once you make money within the law, once you're earning legit money, I didn't realize the burden I was carrying that I let go of. I didn't realize how desensitized I was to the actions I was taking.
Right.
And once I walked away from that, it was like I should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah.
I could have been winning. And so I just encourage anyone that's in a situation like that to, really consider it. I think another interesting thing, how people call hustling the trap.
The
Like
trap.
it's really, really a trap, like a bear trap, like a trap, like I'm in the trap. It really is a trap. You and for everything I'm saying, it's easy to just sound like you're preaching or whatever. But
it's encouragement. You're trying to stir people that have not yet tested the waters into not getting their feet wet, because it's a sucking game. It sucks you into it. You might feel like you're winning for the first few transactions, but in reality, you're just digging your own grave. Whether
it's so enjoyable and so fun, and you think you're winning, like you're like it's a high life. It's all good, all good, all good. But like 99% of the time, and then for 1% of the time, it's terror. It's like the worst terror of your life. And what happens is you start getting even comfortable in that terror. You get comfortable in those terrible moments, like or you get through the terrible moments. Like, for example, I've been kidnapped for hours, like a day. For like a day, I was kidnapped once.
Hey,
and like my life on the line, held against my will, driven, to a place and held, tied up, etc. Blah blah blah. So, once you come out of the other side of a situation like that, right? Life goes back to being a fun, thrill, money-making ride. You just kind of like, you become desensitized. Like it's all of a sudden that past experience it's like I don't know. I would be horrified to be in that. Sorry?
You have regrettable feelings about being involved in that kind of life. You just think
like where I came out of that particular situation. I honestly felt more invincible afterwards.
Okay.
Like it's like I survived that, and like now, like I wish someone would try and do that to me again, see what happens. Right, so it's like you lean into it.
What would happen?
It's not till like much later, with retrospect, that you realize maybe that's some kind of coping mechanism for extreme, it's like extreme fear, like my life on the line. Also, like it was also a test, because through that whole process, I was extremely calm. Like I never shit myself through any of that process. Right. I felt fear, I felt worry and all of that, like it was extreme pressure. But then like after that, I knew that if someone has a gun in my face, like I was able to be within my emotion in that moment and be calm. You don't know that you can handle that until you're faced with that for real, at the full stakes, at real stakes. So I was just like, well, I know I can. I handled that. Like I was surprised even at myself that I didn't break down. And I like handled it. So then like afterwards, it was just like, yeah, okay. So what's next? Like no one's gonna do that to me again. And like I'm gonna be, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. So you add these experiences on top of each other. You add the experience. All of a sudden, you're not scared of that 1% of terror. Until you don't survive one of those. Until like someone like
really hurts you.
When you get the call that your guy has been shot dead. When you get the phone call like from inside prison, when a friend tells you like I got sentenced today, it was 10 years. And I have to do the whole 10. Right. So even those things, until I had my own realization, it doesn't matter what I say right now, what anyone says,
Yeah.
until I had my own realization, like I wasn't even ready to walk away from any of that.
Gotcha.
It's like, took
Bomba
years.
clot.
But yeah, anyway, preaching over, sermon over. Let's just,
Bro, that was deep,
I
you
don't
know.
know.
Big up yourself, man. That was deep.
We've
That was
we've
deep.
strayed away.
Nah. It's still part of the topic. It's still part of the all these underground and internal movements, archetypical movement, unconscious movements that are just getting us into the strangest and weirdest places. But then they also get the best of us. So we're able to win over these inferior forces and elevate ourselves. I truly believe in emotional alchemy, using this nephero, I will call them nephero forces. So just diving into evil, into mischief, into trickery, only to be able to understand, okay, I am capable of doing this, but then the higher self of me is gonna be the higher self. So going into honesty, deep emotional connections, and higher and higher and higher states of beings. I believe in that. I believe in that truly and surely. I believe in that because everything you've said, TJ, everything you've said, literally in a way or the other, maybe not to the same magnitude, but in a way or the other, yeah, I experienced it, whether it was in DR, Colombia, or Italy. I literally experienced it. And Chale, yeah, sometimes looking back, how stupid was I? I was 19. I thought I was invincible. Yeah, but I was just being governed by my subconscious. And looking back today, I just don't know how I made it through, but it's all experience. It adds to the baggage
I
of who
I
I
I
am.
I would be um I wouldn't be able to handle. I don't think I'd be able to handle the, like I don't want to go anywhere near those
Por Dios, pero esos
circumstances
tigres no
ever
son
again.
fácil.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
You
know.
know,
Yeah.
so I don't know whatever that says about me or whatever, but yeah, that's I just think I wish I knew how sweet life was, like I
Back
really
then.
understood that. Yeah, like life
Mm.
is sweet. It doesn't have to be all of that. Like
Yeah.
life can be so sweet.
Yeah.
Like you meet a nice girl, you achieve some stuff, you do
Yeah.
this, you do that, you make connections with friends. Like
Yeah.
those things are like that's what life's about. Like, that's what
But I
makes
think
life
it's necessary,
sweet.
I think it's necessary to go through those really dark moments because you see what? Some people might see you today and think they can take you for idiot. But you know
Yeah.
yourself. You know why you hold back. You know why. Yeah, it's true because I've met a lot of people who I can confidently say they wouldn't survive in certain situations. They'll get licked. They wouldn't have the guts to stand certain situations that you and I have been through. But I see them being loud to me, or maybe you must have experienced the same thing, just because you just understand what it means to be in a dark space. So you're just different. You're all happy, and people think you're stupid. They think, oh, look at this guy, has nothing real going on for himself. Look at, he's always smiling, friendly,
Well,
he's
it hurt
approachable.
it hurts me it hurts me to see when I come across like
Por Dios, pero esos tigres no son
anything from
fácil.
like even a kid that's like sagging their trousers,
Oh, mate.
right? All the
Yeah,
way to like basically physically displaying
they're bum.
the rude boy.
Yeah.
Like they don't even know what they're broadcasting with their fashion sense, and they think that you're old and you're an old fogey. What do you know?
There you
And
go.
then there's like from
Bomba
that all the
clot.
way up to like I interacted with a kid that was you know um clearly on a dark path recently,
Okay.
and it's just like he yeah he just painful to look at him, painful to watch. Everything that came out of his mouth. The only thing I did was that he was with another kid that I know is a good kid. And I just said to him, you know, watch the company you keep. That guy that you were with, that guy that he was with, was so beyond. He was so gone. You know, he was so far gone. He couldn't be. There's no way I could get through to him anything I say. At least the other kid, there was something that could be, you know,
salvage.
Maybe I could get through to him. So I was like, you know, be careful with the company you keep. Because, you know, that kid. And I just hope that kid doesn't get lost. I've got friends, bro, that like just got lost. Like there's a guy that I'm thinking of that's like, imagine like you have like 5 best friends at school. And then all of you like start doing what you're doing in the streets. And then one of them gets into like this kind of like there's different guys on the street. There's like your straight drug dealers. Then this is London. And London, let's say in the 90s and the early 2000s, in the 2000s, right? So there was like drug dealers. Then there was fraudsters. And then there was guys that like bump. So guys that steal from the fraudsters and steal from the drug dealers. So all of those occupations are hazardous. So when you bump people, you can be categorized into 2 ways. You can be like a deceptive fraud guy. Or you can be like, I kick in the door with a gun and I take your stuff. You know, I take it off you. This guy that we knew climbed through his best friend's window, one of his best friend's window, pretended to be somewhere else, climbed through his best friend window, took like everything that his friend had like stacked. And because of sort of messing about, it basically became obvious it was him, and he was confronted. Are spilling all the beans. Now, by the way, he was with a girl that I would say is a pompagira at the time. Now looking back, she kind of egged him on. That girl herself, oh my god, that girl herself is her own story. But anyway, this guy,
I'm loving this, by the way.
This guy kind of got you know, his friends, basically his main core friends, kind of turned their back on him, right? Like it was sort of forgiven, but the relationships were never the same. And then, you know, over the next 10 years, I would hear stories like, oh, he's done this now, he's stolen from this person, he's whatever. And in the end, I don't know where he is now.
He's just gone.
And he stole from like that group of friends again, like 10 years later. Guys like, are spilling all the beans. Now look, bro, we go back a long way. Like, I just need this to go and do that or whatever. And he gets like 20K from one of the guys. You know, like after all of those years, you just like win back the trust of one of the guys. And then like as soon as you win back the trust, you just bump him again. Took the money. He's missing now. No one knows where he is. And he's lost. He had a good girlfriend at one point, lost her. I don't know who his friends are anymore. I don't know who. He just like opened the door. I see it like opening this door, and it, behind the door is like riches and money and everything, right? To the street, and you can see the riches and money. So you reach for it, but you can't cross that threshold without being covered in like black slime and goo. And if you reach too hard, you just get suffocated by the black slime and glue. You can't come back through the door, and you can't get the money and come back through the door. So I think maybe with me, I like put one arm through, right? Just maybe got to my elbow. Like my elbow was covered in blackness.
And
If I'm
just
painting the right
yeah.
picture,
Mm-hmm.
I managed to like just basically withdraw my elbow and just like clean my arm. But what happens is some guys go in at all different depths,
Yeah.
and some guys just go in so much they never return. They're just suffocated by that. There's no money at the end. There's no nothing at the end. It's just death and lost. They're just lost in there.
Nothing.
And that's what
Wow.
happened to him. I think about him all the time. You know,
That's
you
crazy.
know, sometimes you'll see a picture,
Yeah.
like a childhood picture. He wasn't actually one of my closest guys, but a lot of my guys were close with him, and I would just know about this story. And every so often I'll see a picture of like when these guys were like 13, 14, like arms around each other, hugging, smiling at football
Yeah.
or something like that. When before all the madness started. And like now it's just the guy's just lost.
So we're gonna take a 30 seconds break and we'll be back shortly. Stay tuned with us. Back again, and that was quite inspiring. Nice. We're gonna talk about Chris Brown, Chris Breezy, and he's at the top of the news again for another scandal, and this time it's yet again sexual violence. Okay, so basically he's being investigated by Miami police over the R word and battery allegations. TJ, what is it about black entertainers and just being sexually violent, cuz?
Well, I think I don't know about entertainers, but I think that having money, having fame, being really good in one dimension of your life or a couple dimensions of your life, being exceptional, does not cover your shortcomings, your issues, your problems, and it probably enhances them. So whatever he's dealing with in terms of relationships,
these guys are spilling all the beans.
I mean, whatever this is, let's say it's alleged and speculative, but we know, dating back to the Rihanna situation. Like I feel sorry for him in a way, much the same way I feel sorry for, these guys that just, how do you know which way is up when you're so, when your life is, you're basically a god on earth, you're worshipped. And how do you keep a sort of level head? And I imagine just like all of the women that have come to take from him, and if you got a few issues and there's a situation where a girl, you feel disrespected or a girl's taken from you, I can just imagine the dam breaking and he just, just losing it,
And he has a daughter as well. So how is he moving this way? So the story goes like this. 2 different women have alleged that Chris Brown drugged them while in Miami Beach, with one victim filing a police report.
Drugged.
Ibo. That's it.
The same sort of thing as Bill Cosby.
Charlie, this guy, I don't know what world Hollywood is, but
but Chris Brown, there's like, which girl can he not get that he needs to be drugging somebody?
Please ask him again.
But it makes me wonder if this is true at all.
So this was at the end of January. He's being sued for $20. $20. He's being sued for $20 million After a woman identified as Jane Doe, obviously, she can't disclose her name, claims that the singer drugged and raped her while on a yacht party stationed outside Diddy's mansion. So this guy Diddy again, bro. And Breezy seems to reply at the time, brushing off as being an easy target by the media. He's just seen, trying to tell people, look at the pattern. When he's coming out with this new music, they're trying to bring him down for some reason, etc., etc. But today it's being reported that Miami police are actively investigating Brown, not only for the above allegation of drugging and raping, but another possible victim. The second victim was reportedly in attendance at the same yacht party, but left early. 2 days later, she and a friend linked back up with Chris Brown in his Miami Beach hotel, where Brown allegedly shoved his fingers in her mouth. His fingers reportedly had a white substance on them, and the victim passed out for several hours before waking up in a suite without her friend or her phone. So I'm guessing a suite would be like a hotel suite. The second victim decided to file a police report after she read about the former victim who was at the same party. Both women are not from Miami, with one residing in LA. LA, man. And the other in Canada. Charlie. First it was Trey, now it's Chris. Two icons of R&B music, black entertainment, and superstars. I think they portray a very good Shango energy. Excellent dancers, showmanship. Mate, the god of thunder. What do you have to say about this? Enlighten us.
I'm just fixated on the idea that you brought up. You said earlier about like nothing is good or bad; it's just good and bad outcomes. And you said about him having a daughter.
Yeah.
I remember
these guys are
Idi Amin's daughter did an interview on Radio 4, BBC Radio 4, a couple of years ago. And she was like, she grew up with a loving father. From her point of view, a loving father.
Yeah.
Like Idi Amin literally committed war crimes. He was one of the most brutal generals Uganda's ever seen, rise up through the ranks.
That's true.
There was nothing he wasn't willing to do to get what he wanted. Murder, death, kill for nothing.
Yeah.
Like ruthless torture.
Yeah.
And his daughter only ever saw him as a loving, caring father that took care of her. She grew up in private school abroad. I think she lives in the Middle East now. Like her life is set. He set everything. So
yeah,
whatever. And she gets like hate mail. So, it's like, I also think of another guy. There's another guy I know that was a street guy, right?
Yeah.
And he got with this girl, and the girl had a young son.
Yeah.
And then they broke up. And to this day, he is that child's father. It's not his son, and he's not even with the girl anymore.
It's that child's father.
But he's at the child's parents, the child's parents' evening, at school.
Yeah.
He has him at weekends. He's the father of that child.
Yeah.
It's not his child. Now, you could say whatever you want to say. That child, I would say, is better off to have him as a father than to have no father at all.
Yeah.
Like, it's an incredible act of kindness and love displayed.
Por Dios, pero esos tigres no son fácil.
But this guy is a street guy. Like, if you met him on the wrong day,
he'll switch
and you wouldn't have a good day. He's up to stuff. He's up to things. So is he a bad guy? And so I will ask this.
Yeah.
I'll ask the same question of Chris Brown. Is he a bad guy? I guarantee you, if I got drunk
Yeah.
and hit someone and they died, I would be on news. I'd be on the news, right?
Yeah.
And
Han
they would have a
desacatado con
picture of me
informaciones por
as
YouTube.
like, probably they'd find a mugshot of when I've been arrested
Yeah.
where I looked my worst, and they would find all of the worst history of me. They would say this terrible guy was drink driving and he killed someone drink driving, right? But if I was the victim, if I was hit, they would like go to my like parents, and they'd be like my friends would be like, oh, he's the nicest guy ever. He wouldn't hurt a fly.
On the path to
his life was taken too
self-actualization.
short. Right. So I don't go for that. You're good or bad. Like,
Bomba
you've got both
clot.
dark and light, and
That's the one.
some of us try and keep the dark at bay.
Yeah.
But even those that do their best to keep it at bay still can surface from time to time.
Yeah, this is very true. Is very true. It's also conscious behavior that we have between stored
These
up
guys are spilling
in the
all
shadow.
the beans.
And if you don't have control of it, if you're not able to dig it out and make it manifest into the conscious in a healthy way, it will come out as dirty, slimy, and just look for trouble. That's what it is. But I think we need to deserve a whole episode on this because it's quite big. It goes into notions of non-duality, etc. Yeah.
How does one control these things?
Well, first of all, it's we need to be on a path to self-actualization. We need to head towards the top of the ladder in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and we need to have the rest of our other needs met.
Just quickly tell the people, like, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is usually associated only with sort of economic idea.
Yeah, it's a model of human needs, and it's just trying to put together in a hierarchy what humans need in order to function within a working economy. So at the very bottom, we have our physiological needs.
And thrive.
Exactly. And perform at their best. Yeah. At the very bottom, we have physiological needs. And you have a layer on top of that, a third layer. And then at the very top, the cap of the pyramid.
These guys are spilling all the beans.
Is self-actualization. And we identify self-actualization as the Jesus vibration. Becoming a better person, becoming a conscious person, and this is the goal.
The reason why you brought it up,
the
reason why you brought it up is to say that you need to climb that hierarchy. You cannot interact with the top of the hierarchy until you've built all the other levels underneath.
Exactly. There is a way to hack, though. There is a way to hack your way to the very top. And by being at the very top, there's a famous phrase in the Bible that says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these other things shall be added unto you."
I beg, go.
There is a way to go to the top, and then you have your physiological, your emotional needs met.
I'm leaning in.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yes, it's some people call it epigenetics. Some people call it self-deception. I forget the words Napoleon Hill used, but it's basically telling your brain you don't need these things. You need to go onto this path. Now, we've identified that the people at the very top move in a different way. They think differently. They're not limited by their space, gender, color, resources, and etc. So by thus doing, they're displaying a form of passion that makes all these other things just added to them. All these other physiological needs are just given to them because they're just radiating an energy of entitlement, if that can be the right word.
I don't think the word is entitlement, but almost irrational confidence
Yeah,
or
yeah. Confidence, yeah.
um, confidence, self belief,
Mm,
and then some people really understand those principles of like conceptualizing things first in
yeah.
the mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, yeah, this is like a friend of mine. There's a documentary on Netflix recently came out about Kanye West,
Okay.
and
Bomba clot.
um, say whatever you want to say about Kanye.
Hmm.
That guy believes stuff that the average person about himself, what he wants, where he's going, that the average person doesn't even dare.
That guy is my G, you know. The way
I
I
mean,
like Kanye, man. He is the polished version of the Papi water. He's the polished version.
These
well,
guys are
I think
spilling
he
all the beans.
articulates himself very poorly,
I know. I know.
right? So everything he says is up for spin and misinterpretation.
Yeah.
And I also think he's also at a level of fame where it's just so difficult to function as a normal guy.
Mm,
Um, I think if half of us were in that same position he was in,
yeah.
we probably would handle it worse than him.
Mm,
Let alone mental health issues, all of this stuff.
yeah.
This kind of stuff exaggerates that.
Yeah.
And then, like, he, in my opinion, he married. Uh, he married Mami Wata himself.
He's so in the Akans of West Africa. The Akans can be found in Ghana and Ivory Coast. There is this belief. So during the naming of the child, the male Pompagira is identified by the child born on a Wednesday, and he'll be called Kweku. Okay, so the appendix KW denotes a slave, a servant of Equia, AQAKUA. Equia would be the Akan version of Pompagira, of Mamiwata, of Exu. Yeah, and it literally denotes you are a slave to this energy. You serve this energy. You are a victim to this energy. Whichever other words you can find, you are serving that energy. So it's not far fetched that he will fall over and over and over for this type of women. If he tried to branch out, which will it would need, I don't know. I don't even know what he would have to resolve to branch out of this type of women. You know, the Amber Rose, the Kim K, the these recent flame, the Fox, that girl. If he was to branch out of that, he would be so out of character. We would know that's not Kanye anymore because he's just a slave to that energy.
But
He
that that's
loved
that's
Gyal.
that's that's a major hindrance in his life.
Bomba clot.
I don't know about hindrance because it could be something he's conscious about. By the way, Kanye's mom was very, very switched on these topics on hoodoo. She was, you could consider her an Obia woman. So
Mm.
obviously he was taught a lot of these things, how to work with it. Kanye has never hidden the fact that he is a god. He's never hidden the fact and displaying this type of god energy by wearing the bali, as we recently saw in the Super Bowl and when he was airing Donda live, the
Mm.
live streaming party. He's wearing a bali, and this is typical Anansi, Kweku Anansi, the spider god.
Mm.
Yeah, so he knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah, we have to give in to some of our weaknesses sometimes. It's something that I've tried to hold back from, but I've learned that, man, me love girl, and that's what it is, man. Some things you just have to let them flow the way they flow. Every other thing you might be better at controlling, but some aspects of your life, they're just there to keep you in check. Yeah, so I guess Kanye knows this, and he's just okay with it. That's it. He demonstrated male fragility by going after Pete. That was Kim K's boyfriend. talking about, even in the song he did with the game, talking about he's gonna be aggressive towards him, attack him on the streets, calling him gay and all these things.
These guys are
You,
spilling
you
all the
understand?
beans.
He's
I think so. The reason we brought up Kanye was to say, the way to hack, to
self-actualization,
right is
Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Yeah,
right. So he hacks it right on one hand,
that's
but on
it.
the other
Yeah,
hand, he's still victim to this destructive behavior
yeah,
through his choice of partner and maybe some other one or two other choices,
yeah,
um, repeated over and over again.
yeah.
This is, so even if you hack this thing, you
I beg, bro.
you're not out the neck of you're still in
No,
the
bro.
woods.
No. You can still fall back any day, any time. I mean, we have this false conception of the guru being the perfect human being. We still have to remember that Jesus knocked off people's livelihoods in the synagogue. People were selling and exchanging money, whether it was good or bad. These people were living off these. We just identified Idi Amin being the terrorist and the blood-sucking demon to everyone else, but then the lovely and caring father to his daughter. So, do you understand? These gurus are still subject to a dark side of themselves. I think self-actualization is being able to switch at the right time, or
Mm.
the nefarious part being at the bottom is your subconscious takes over when you don't know what you're doing. You just you could just be there provoked and you just switch, but it's not you. You're not controlling it. That's not the right time to act this kind of way. So I guess at the very top you would know when to be dangerous and when not to be dangerous, and that is mastery, displaying the
Mm.
right traits at the right time. But to propose and to suggest that you have to be this loving, smiling, nah, man, that it doesn't exist. You can't be taken for idiot. In the
Yeah.
East, you have the concept of the warrior Sufi. So the Sufis, for those who don't know, are a class of Muslim teachers that they divert from the normal Islamic teaching. So yeah, they might teach about Allah and all this thing, but they've transcended all of that and they've come to realize that we're talking about energy and different forms of energy. So they're philosophers. Philosophers like Rumi. Rumi was a Sufi poet. And these guys were fighting and doing jihad, mate, all along. They were pictured with their knives. They fought in all the Muslim wars. They went through all the Ajiras, conquering North Africa, slicing people's necks. And these people were were poets. They were philosophers. They were talking about transcending carnal needs and being next to godliness. But then they were ready to fight. So it's like the Knight Templars. These people knew a lot of Gnostic teachings, and we have to differentiate between Gnostic and agnostic. Gnostic is the one who knows, and agnostic is the one that doesn't know. So they were deep into Gnostic teachings, Pistis Sophia, for those who are familiar. But they would still go to the Middle East and swing their swords and kill people on the way to the Middle East. So the notion of the woke guru being this peaceful guy is something that has been sold to us by the media, and it's not true. You can be perfectly a man of war and be at peace, teach love. You just know when to switch between characters. It's just like your experience you gave in the beginning. When you were indulging in these practices, it was unconsciously done. There was a part of you that needed to thrive, and so you had to dig into help from your archetypical self to get to that position. You were not controlling it, so it got you sometimes into trouble. You had to, display manipulative behavior to get what you wanted, but that wasn't you. because you felt a part of you kind of separating from who was you in reality. So yeah, that's you were not controlling that. But right now, if you knew you had to get a few things from someone who was taking advantage of you, you knew you would switch in such a way that he would be shocked. Like, what, TJ? I've never seen you like this. I never thought you were even capable of something like this. And that's where respect kicks in. That's when they'll know, yeah, you don't mess with TJ because what? He's self-actualized.
You know, you need to be tough
Bomba clot.
in all sorts. It's virtuous to be. This is the definition of meek.
Yeah.
Actually,
I think
like you
give it
need
to us
to use
again,
it.
please. You
So
said
the
it the last
definition,
time, yeah?
the best definition of meek that I've ever heard is
These guys are spilling all the beans.
when you fully translate from, I think, the Greek or the Hebrew, when it's popped up in the Bible, it translates something like those that have the ability to use a sword, but only use it when absolutely required.
Yeah.
So the
Abeg, bro.
6'5" big guy,
Yeah.
that the 6'5" teenager that is at school that could beat up everybody and take their lunch money, but only fights when he's protecting his best friend who's being bullied by someone else.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's lots of examples of this, but you need to be fierce. For example, in a job interview, you might need to be tough.
Yeah.
Or so you don't get walked over, so that you show and display when you're negotiating for a salary.
Yeah.
Confidence. When you're given a deal that is maybe less than what your worth is, you have to be tough to negotiate a better contract, a better deal. People do try and take advantage of you, and you have to be able to protect yourself against those that would take advantage. That might be a mental game, or it might be a physical game. What if someone tries to break in your house? There's a time to defend yourself. So we don't need to purge ourselves of these energies, these actions, these things. We just need to know how to select the right tool at the right moment.
Amen.
Amen. Now but the thing is, we go through life like music could provoke you to use the wrong tool. Movie could provoke you. The way you grow up, the things that your parents teach you, the things that you experience. The Black community, I think they grow up partly because of environment, partly because of maybe a whole bunch of reasons, to be more aggressive than they need to be. The whole Kevin Samuels thing about that, where he talks about women that are just like acting masculine. Like a woman needs to act masculine every so often, right? Like, like
be assertive.
Be assertive, whatever. But like, if she does that all the time, she runs the danger away when she's assertive. But then she also runs away all her potential best partners.
These guys are spilling all the beans.
It's promoted, like it's good to be like that. Like, be strong, independent Black woman. Like, so be like this all the time, but you're selecting the wrong tool for the job.
Boom. You said it all, TJ. You said it all. Knowing when to switch, how to switch, that's being meek. That's mastery.
So this is self-mastery.
That is what it is. That's the journey we're on, TJ.
Well, I tell you something that I think every young person and older person could benefit from
Por Dios, pero esos tigres no son fácil.
is learning a martial art.
I like that.
That right there is a road of self-mastery, discipline, help you control anger, help you control some of those forces that often take us the wrong way.
Yeah.
Give you the confidence. You find actually that a lot of martial artists are meek. Right? They can kick your ass, but they'll rather diffuse because they know what the consequences of a real fight is.
Yeah.
Because they practice it all the time.
Yeah.
Or the guy in their gym or their dojo or their academy, there's a guy in there that's like half their size, wears glasses and is geek, but he can beat up everybody.
The nerd, yeah.
The nerd, right? Like, so, like, you don't go pick fights with people you don't know in the street. But when you know that there's a guy in your gym that can like deliver such a roundhouse, so like I like to think about these concepts, but then try and see how we can apply the best solutions to them. So gathering knowledge, and I've just come up with that just now, adding martial arts into your life. These things help with self-mastery.
Yeah. Bruce Lee always said it. He believes so much in martial arts.
These guys are spilling all the beans.
It flows into the other aspects of your life. Right.
So yeah, I mean, Chris Brown, definitely a poor case study of sexual energy, self-mastery, because they keep falling for these allegations, and the leaves don't move if the wind doesn't blow. I mean, this is what it is. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Jamal. We're going to talk about a positive case study. Would that be a positive thing? Jamal Edwards?
It sure would.
Yeah, so we'll be back after our short break. Enjoy our little tune. We're back again, and we're going to talk about Jamal Edwards, who helped launch a string of UK music careers, including Dave, Jessie J, and Ed Sheeran. I didn't know that. He died at the age of 31. Was it yesterday?
What did he die of?
Apparently, I mean, it's not confirmed, but the speculations are complications from a heart attack due to the vaccine.
No way.
That's what is going around. It's not yet confirmed from mainstream sources, so we'll just stick to what it is. It's a big loss, and I'll say this is Shango energy self-actualized. I think this is the top of the pyramid. Because I didn't grow up in the UK, so I had to get my information from those who knew him, and it's been praised. It's been praised all along. He looks like someone who literally hacked his way to the top of the pyramid.
Yeah, he's a winner.
Yeah. It's someone who should be celebrated in the community. He died at 31, so young, but he accomplished so much. Me and my partner were talking about these type of people that just come to this world and do their duty, and then just leave. Yeah.
So let's just quickly highlight. He started SBTV, which you might say is a kind of world star hip hop when it was all about the music.
Okay. Okay.
Like before all, it doesn't have any of like it just has music and music related artist stuff on there. So if right now, if you're a young UK music artist,
Yeah.
you could create your video and you could get it published on SBTV, and people would start to see you, and that's
He created
so
a platform.
created a platform. That's right. That's right. So um he's a mover and shaker in that regard,
Yeah.
and it's to be commended that he achieved this stuff. And yeah, it's a tragedy that he's gone. I mean,
Yeah. Condolences to the family. They must be devastated with this loss. Yeah, but I even heard he worked with Zizi Mills.
I don't
He's
know.
had
I didn't know.
collaborations with mainstream UK artists, and he was collaborating on other things, other ventures. Yeah, this is the kind of energy I would call expansive Shango energy, because everything that has to do with the entertainment and industry that is not dark and sinister is very much associated with Shango energy, or even Eshu energy, because he's more or less a connector. He's creating a platform for other people to thrive on.
Mm,
So this is definitely one person that looks like he mastered his archetype and used it for his own good and the good of the community.
mm,
And
mm.
big up to him, man. And unfortunately, he leaves us at the tender young age of 31. Oh man, I wish I knew more, and I'm just navigating in dark waters right now. But I can see he's all over social media, and it's just good things about him. Good things about him. Remember that scenario you were talking about, where if something was to happen to you, and they went to your friends, what version of you would they tell us?
Mm, mm,
Yeah, and much respect, much respect. There is a case where in West African spirituality, those who do good, and by good we mean those who are able to conjure good outcomes for themselves or for their community, can pass on and become archetypes themselves, become positive spirits for other people to draw on. And these people will have their shrine, or these spirits will have their shrine. They will be revered in the village, in the community. You to pour libation to these spirits, because it's a way to encourage more of this archetype rather than the other dark and sinister ones. So yes, it feels like this guy had big soul energy, big soul power,
mm, mm.
because I didn't even know about him, but his passing away has just lit up the whole UK. I'd say we've all heard about it in a positive way. This is the direction we should strive to take.
Yeah, yeah. So we have to do an episode on archetypes.
We have to. We have to.
It's been on my mind, and I have a theory that I'm not going to tell you until we're talking on.
Hey! Yeah, we told you Ogogoro from me, Charlie. Okay.
I'm withholding a theory, something that I think I haven't completely finished refining the idea, but I think it will be interesting, and I would love to hear your reaction to it. So yeah, we have to do an episode on that.
These guys are spilling all the beans.
And yeah, well, watch this space.
Well, this is self-explanatory. There's nothing more that can be added, nothing to move. He was an exemplary member of our community. And yeah, a tragic loss to all of us. Guys, this is kind of wrapping up our live session today. We've talked about the Tinder swindler, Chris Brown, and Jamal Edwards. 3 men, 3 examples of Eshu Papi Water, Pomba Zero, Energy, and all using it in different ways. So I wonder what we'll say about Chris Brown if he eventually passes away.
Well, I mean, that just the thing of Michael Jackson came in my mind. He's a smaller version of him. I suppose he's still got time to increase himself to a higher status. I don't know if anyone could be like Michael Jackson again anyway, because
Really
the way media is now. But the fact that you can touch Michael Jackson, the way you can touch people on social media now, was a celebrity era. But is he a pedophile or is he a genius? Savant musician, and maybe he's both, and maybe he's a victim and a victimizer. Who knows?
Yeah, I've struggled to explain this concept to people. They just shut down the whole allegation story, or they just see him as what he was indicted for. So it's a bit like R. Kelly, a great artist, but then fell for what he was convicted for. Sexual predatory behavior, and
I think R. Kelly was just out of control, right?
Bro, too much power, yeah.
Out of control. But I'm still. Sometimes you still got to step in the name of love. You know what I mean?
Bro, I still bump to his tunes, man. I know some people have talked about canceling R. Kelly, but bro, can you really? If I was born in the 80s, can you really cancel R. Kelly? Nah, cuz.
I mean, his voice is he was truly talented.
Yeah.
Truly talented.
Shango. Yeah, man.
There it is.
Yeah.
He's both.
These guys
and we're all both, right? We all have
a dark
this
side to us.
Dark and light. Yeah, we all have it, and we have to.
Sometimes it takes hold of us.
It's easy to acknowledge it within ourselves, because you're the only one that really inspects yourself.
Yeah.
And you justify everything for yourself because you love yourself, whatever. But when you see it in someone else, you can rapist, or violent guy, domestic abuser, or you want to put these quick labels on people.
Yeah.
But they're everything, right? They're fathers, they're brothers, they're sisters, they're mothers, they're abused and abusers.
Yeah. So this has been another live session from Campbell
and TJ.
Enjoy the rest of our soundtrack, and we hope to have you with us live again next week.
Peace out.
Peace out.